Welcome back to another spooky episode of Hi Neighbor. I'm John Park.
And I'm Ned Moultrie.
The end of October always has been an opportunity for people in Boone to get very festive.
Locals decorate their doorsteps with the jack-o'-lanterns, dress up for seasonal parties, and even attend special events hosted by the Appalachian State Library.
This week, we're celebrating the spooky season with an annual zombie fighting event at the Belk Library and investigating one of Appalachian's own dorms that is presumed to be haunted. A very special guest is also coming in the studio today to help out with the other hosts and I create treats for the Halloween season.
Afterwards, we'll hear from Professor Derek and his special guest on the upcoming theater production, The Seagull, which will be performed in I.G. Greer now until November 3rd.
Join us on this spectacular spooky episode as we both say, Hi neighbor! The Appalachian Belk Library held their annual Humans vs. Zombies event this past weekend, and our own host, Laird Davis, got to participate in the battle. Let's take a look at how the event went.
I'm here in the library with Molly Pueller, who is an e-learning librarian by day, but is helping to organize the event tonight. How are you doing, Molly?
I'm good. How are you?
So can you tell me a little bit about what we can expect in the next few hours here at the library?
Sure. We're actually going to get started sooner than that. The event's starting at 7, so less than half an hour, and it's a basic humans versus zombies event. So you're going to have some students that are humans and some that are zombies. We have a respawn zone, and so there's no running. Some folks will be in makeup, some in costume, Nerf guns, sort of going after each other to see the best one that wins.
And is this the first time that you guys have done the event?
No, this is the second sort of official time. You actually see there's a 2 on the shirt, but we did have a previous time as well, but I guess we sort of consider that the practice.
All right. And having seen one of these events before, it gets a bit crazy. You have people running around, shooting Nerf guns, setting up barricades on other floors. What's the scariest part, I guess, about setting up the library for something this rambunctious, I suppose?
I mean, I wouldn't call it crazy. Folks get really into it, and we really appreciate that. And we do go over the rules before time, and we're really grateful that students generally follow those rules. They're not supposed to run, and there's no damage to the library. And so, yeah, people get excited, and sometimes they do run, and there are some barricades, but there's no damage. So, honestly, the scariest thing for me each time is, will we get enough students? And we want students to have a good time.
And what was sort of the original basis, the inspiration for doing this kind of event? How did that get started?
You know, for the very first one, I actually wasn't a part of that one, but I honestly think it was just an idea. I mean, there's so much humans and zombies right now in popular culture, so we're just kind of going off of that.
Yeah. And what would you say is your favorite part of this event? Because there's a lot of different things going on, and you guys really put a ton of effort into getting ready, so.
We do. You know, after the last one, the primary thing that we heard from students is that they wanted us to do it more, that they wanted us to do it every month. So for me, I really love how much joy the students get out of it. And we all like being here. We have a good time. Students have a good time. And, you know, libraries are for a lot of things, right? And I appreciate that this can be a service that we provide as well.
Absolutely. And in terms of sort of celebrating Halloween, are there other things that the library does in preparation for the spookiest month of the year?
You know, I feel like this question was asked last year and I was not prepared with an answer then either. We will be giving out candy on Halloween proper. We will be doing that in the morning as well as in the afternoon. So if you're in the library, you're welcome to come through and we'll be handing out candy. Don't quote me on the times. I think it might be 10 a.m. and maybe 3:30. Other than that, I'm actually not sure, but it would be on our calendar.
All right. And last question, you said that you guys are hoping to do this again and that people would like you to do it again. Do you guys have a date yet for the next time you're going to be doing this?
No, I mean, again, people wanted us to do it every month, but we really can't do that. So I imagine we'll do it around the same time next year. So in October around Halloween, but not too close in 2020.
All right. Well, Molly, thank you so much for you and the other librarians taking some time to put together this awesome event. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Hi neighbor, I'm Caitlin Halley, and today I'm going to be showing you all how to make some quick and tasty treats, just in case you're tired of the traditional Halloween candy. So, you guys ready to make some ghoulish little boys with us today?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we have our ghoulish little boy over here. He's a little skeleton man made out of a little brownie bite, some yogurt pretzels, and a cute little marshmallow with edible ink. So, what you're first going to do is you're going to take a little brownie bite and a pretzel stick.
I'll pass these down.
Okay.
I'll trade you. If I get a pretzel stick, you can have a brownie.
Pretzel sticks. Pass them one
Seems
by
like a fair
one.
trade.
Word.
One by one.
Thank you.
There we go.
And then,
Is this his spine? Is that what I'm seeing here?
yes,
All right,
that is
word.
the spine. And so, what you're
I
gonna
also need a
do?
brownie bite.
Oh,
Get you a brownie.
there
bar.
you
Oh,
go,
shit.
Laird. What you're gonna do is you're gonna thread the little pretzel
Okay.
through the middle hole,
Alrighty.
like that.
All right,
And you probably want 3 or 4 pretzels per stick.
Now, could you feasibly create like a multi-tiered, really tall one of these guys?
Oh, absolutely. You just need like a strong enough base to
Wait.
like hold it.
Can I have another pretzel stick, please?
I will pass you 2.
Thank you.
And half. Well, one
I
half.
have
That's the
I have
half.
a little bit of a mutated one.
Oh no.
Okay, bad.
You probably
It's all right,
Everybody's
wanna.
different.
Yeah, he'll just be a
Everybody-
bit wider than
He'll
that.
have one arm. He'll be a one-armed little guy.
Yeah.
Little guy.
Little guy.
I I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. I don't know what to tell y'all.
Okay.
All right. Annie is the first one.
Oh my
done.
gosh.
So
I'm so
then
far
you're
behind.
just kind of stick them onto the little brownie.
Okay.
And Annie, while the rest of them are slacking behind,
Okay.
you can work
Listen
on
here.
your
I'm
little
catching up.
face. So we have edible pens, so you can just draw on a cute little face for your ghoulish boy.
Tip top.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He may need a different brownie.
I'm feeling like, a Gordon Ramsay kind of vibe.
Yeah.
know?
Are you gonna start yelling at us here, Caitlin?
I'm not that kind of chef, John. All right.
What's wrong?
All right.
Ah,
Oh, this is a
Okay.
massive
Yeah.
This is so cute.
He looks so cute, Annie.
ah.
So yeah,
I
you
love
just
it.
draw cute little faces on the boys.
On the boys.
Make like a ghost.
I am making.
Yeah, yours is
no-
more ghostly, while mine is a little bit more
Can I get a marshmallow?
frustrated, I guess, with their predicament.
Thank you.
So how easy
you.
is this for you guys?
Super easy.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Ah.
It's something.
And it's affordable?
Absolutely. I got all of this in like about $10, but this is something that you can bring to a Halloween party and
Yeah.
really have some fun with friends making little skeleton boys.
Absolutely.
Little spooky
Yeah.
boys.
Now it seems like the base on mine is a little messed up, but
Yeah.
we haven't so you should actually
ha-
be putting it more towards the center, right?
Probably, yeah. They can get a little top heavy if you don't put them in the center. Absolutely, yeah.
They're easy. They're so fun too.
I'm trying so hard to make mine like
Oh.
really tall,
You're really going for
and
it,
he
aren't
is.
you?
He doesn't.
Ah, nice.
He doesn't really want to stand
Vicious.
up. I'm
Oh.
trying, but he doesn't really want to stand. I also think I'm getting
Pass
the.
me a few,
the edible
those
marker on me.
Chocolate covered pretzels.
Oh, wow.
He's not really working out though,
Aw.
so we'll just put you right there, bud.
Poor
I like how
boy.
you
And
have 4 pretzels. I like that.
Yeah, he just.
Big creation.
Yeah, no, he was a thick boy for sure.
I'd like to say I think mine's really elegant, Not
I'm-
looking for all the shine, but knows
Yeah.
what it is.
I'm
Yeah.
very, very
secure
humbled.
in
Yes.
his schoolishness.
Very, very,
Very.
very. I like
The skeleton who has a bit of
Yeah.
Style.
Really getting into the Halloween season.
yeah.
You want me to zoom in on?
Could I get another brownie, please?
No, no, you may not.
Oh, hey.
I'm just teasing,
It's all fun and
Laird.
games.
Here, I'm gonna reach over you and make another boy. Oh no.
Oh,
Oh
Okay.
no. No, that one was mine.
I will also need another brownie.
From-
Let's see.
That's so cute.
Oh my god.
Thank
There
you
you
so
go.
much.
Oh
It is
god.
a little bit of a messy project.
It is,
but where's
admittedly.
the fun in like a clean craft?
Look, I don't mind enjoying all of it's yogurt, right?
Yeah, it's
I don't mind
yogurt.
enjoying all this yogurt. Actually, I mean, you could really use it as garnish for his hair, You could just like
Absolutely.
a little bit of that. Or dandruff, whatever you want to prefer. Whatever you
I tried to
prefer.
make this one very vaguely Harry Potter-ish.
Uh,
I don't know if I succeeded, but
Hey Laird, I don't know what that is.
well, I am many things, but I am not an artist, so I did my best.
One of those pigs from Angry Birds.
Yeah, the real struggle for me with things like this is not eating my project halfway through because I have a sweet tooth.
I was gonna say I'm getting really hungry just sitting here.
There are a few things I love more than chocolate and pretzels, and that combination, I mean.
Well, thank you so much, Caitlin, for teaching us how to make these delicious treats. Let's check on Professor Derek to see how he will be spending his Halloween, because I think he may be checking on the Seagull and IG Greer.
East Hall is one of the most notorious places on campus for ghost sightings.
I used to live in East, which everyone thinks is haunted. Some of our hallmates were, they would talk about things like falling off of their built-ins, because we had like built-in shelves. Some would talk about like their TVs just like randomly turning on. The weirdest thing that ever happened to like Darby and I specifically was we were just talking and the door just opened, like swaying wide. So we were kind of like, okay, maybe it was just the wind. But then Kyle came back and we were like, did you watch the door when you left? And he was like, yeah, I totally watched the door. And it was so creepy. We both kind of like as a joke, like looked at each other and started reciting the Lord's Prayer. But like, it was a little spooky.
We spoke with Leela Jackson, who works in the basement of East Hall, to get her experience with the ghost.
When I lived on campus, I lived in Lovell Hall, and there were already a lot of rumors about suicides and hauntings and weird goings on in the building. Back then they had a haunted house called the Dorm of Doom, and it was down here. So we actually resurrected the Dorm of Doom and had a haunted house in here a couple of years ago, and some of our interns got really freaked out because we had all these books, and the books were flying off the shelves by themselves and hitting our students. And the students got very upset about that, obviously. And one of them never came back. 2 people who work here now have seen people, and when they describe them, it's the same person. It's a college-age male in like a work shirt.
While filming, we even experienced a first-hand account of the East Hall ghost.
We were just filming in East Hall for our project, and then the hallways were clear at one point, and then all of a sudden, both of our cameras started to malfunction, and weird light rays, I guess you could call it, started to appear, and nothing we were doing was stopping it. So.
Hi, neighbor. Welcome back to Theater and Dance Today. I'm your host, Professor Derek. And I'm excited to learn more about the production of The Seagull today with Leslie Knight, who is one of the assistant directors of the show. The Seagull tells the story of 4 artists who navigate life and the romance and artistic quarrels that come with it through loyalty, love, and ambition. So Leslie, thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
First off, we were talking earlier, you are a senior English education major.
I am, yes.
How did you get involved with us?
I have been involved with the theater department for as long as I've been at Appalachian. I started working on club shows, mostly acting, and then I moved more into directing production actually with this show. This is the first time that I've been an assistant director, and it has been such a wonderful learning experience so far.
And we might mention you're working with other Professor Derek Davidson, who's directing the show. And how long have you guys been at rehearsal?
We have been rehearsing for 9 weeks. So we started as soon as we got back from Labor Day break, hit the ground running, did some table work, and then moved as soon as we could into blocking and working out the physicality of the show.
So the press release is talking about 4 artists, right? I'm thinking of the average college student.
Yes.
And they're going to come and we don't readily associate with actors, but the human aspects of the show is really what comes to the forefront. So what would you say about that? What would a college student see that they're going to latch onto?
Well, I think the show certainly is concerned with art and talking about what art is, what art isn't, what perhaps art should be. But so much of the show in typical Chekhovian style is looking at realism and looking at what real life is like for real people. The play is set in 1895 rural Russia on a farm, but it truly feels like it could be set in small town America in any rural type setting, you get that feeling of community, of family, of the importance of relationships and loyalty, and especially in this show, romantic relationships. There is a lot of talk about love and what love means to these characters.
So we got a Downton Abbey thing going on here.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and there's several different classes of relationships. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the show, we have all sorts of, like you mentioned, all sorts of relationships that are coming to the forefront. We have some romantic relationships that are more approved of by society, perhaps. We have some romantic relationships that may not necessarily be approved of. There are a couple of affairs that are going on among some of the characters. We have a lot of familiar relationships that we look at, especially parents and children, and how those generational ties are related to the plot of the show, but also how those characters treat each other. In the main four characters, we have a mother and a son pair, and we see them together a lot on stage, and how those particular characters interact with each other drives so much of the emotional force behind the show. And I think that that is something, one of the other things that a lot of students and just a lot of faculty as well who might come and see the show can really identify with and understand from just a human standpoint.
Right. So two of the major characters are college age.
Yes.
Nina and
Nina and Constantine.
And Constantine is a young playwright.
Yes.
The problem is his mom
is an actress.
and she can't be young because she's got an 18-year-old kid.
Yeah,
right?
25.
25
in the show.
25-year-old kid in the show. What about what I like? My favorite characters are the schoolmaster and Masha.
Yeah, Medvedenko and Masha. Yeah, we have been so blessed to have such a talented cast. They have all worked really, really hard, bringing these characters to life in really fascinating ways and in very realistic ways. There is not a single performance, a single moment on stage that doesn't feel real and doesn't feel grounded in true emotion and like true feeling of a moment. And then Medvedenko and Masha are exactly that way. We really see Masha's kind of dislike for Medvedenko initially playing out very, very clearly, and Medvedenko's affections for her from the start of the play. They open the show in the very first act, and they open the beginning of the last act of the show. And they are a fascinating way to look at how relationships have changed. And there's a 2-year jump between the end of Act 3 and the beginning of Act 4. And they very much serve as kind of like a barometer for the audience of like, this is how things are changing. Which I think is very, very helpful for the audience from a watching perspective, but also from a character's perspective.
Well, here's a question for you, knowing acting, the challenge of being realistic in a 90-seat theater. How have the director, the cast, and the assistant directors kind of, what have you guys been doing to try to get that realism to be, it's right in front, it's almost camera acting.
Yeah, absolutely. We are so close in the IG Greer studio space. We are so close to the audience. And in the Seagull, we have several parts where characters speak directly to the audience. They go out and they are making eye contact, talking directly to the audience, treating them as if they are a part of this world that we are creating. Our set and our lighting designer, Mike Helms, has done some wonderful things with the set that have enabled us to actually use the entranceway into Greer as a way for characters to come and leave. So they are literally in the audience at some points in the show, directly interacting with those on stage and with those in the audience. Derek Davidson, our director, has come up with these sorts of tableaus at some point in the show. So we have these wonderful picturesque moments where everybody from any seat that you are in, because it is an amphitheater type seating arrangement, any seat that you are in, there is something to see and something interesting going on stage for you. There's not a bad seat in the house with this show, which is super exciting.
So how are the actors working? That's a massive risk to turn right to the audience and start talking to them. How are the actors dealing with that? I mean, what has been the process to get them to kind of open up and go, okay, I'm going to look right at you?
Yeah, so much of it has been building emotional vulnerability as those characters, and really being in touch with this person that you are portraying on stage and bringing them, making them a part of yourself almost, and having that vulnerability.
So there you have it. The Seagull promises to be a really audience interactive experience. It's being performed in IG Greer Theater now through Sunday, November 3rd. For more information on tickets and showtimes, you can go to www.theateranddance.appstate.edu, or you can call the Valborg box office at 828-262-4046. For Theater and Dance Today, I'm your host, Professor Derek, and I will see you at the theater.
That's all for this week's episode.
Thank you for joining us as we celebrated spooky season with our neighbors.
Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at watchapptv.com and check out our YouTube channel, AppTV, for more content.
Until next time,
bye neighbor.